we know not a lot of people will get here just yet, but so what is the Care Bear thing?
So that's that. We can't announce it on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Is, is that like a day? Oh shoot. Yeah. Oops. Sorry, we're live.
The
I
end of
just
next month,
said-
maybe everybody's participating.
yes.
Ah,
You say
We
it's
like to
gonna be a
surprise
T-shirt.
people, Jeremy.
I know. Just please say it's gonna be a T-shirt. That's all I'm asking. So just
ah.
and
I
how
did I
much?
did tell I threatened to Gina that I'm gonna because they have cloud cars that I'm gonna
Yeah.
put cotton balls all over my pants and glue them to my pants and walk around
Oh
the
my
office with
God.
cotton balls glued to my pants.
You should just
That sounds
do it.
appropriate.
Today I still can't figure out the color thing because that was supposed to be a tree. Is that what you said, Amy? Like a
So
Yeah.
tree.
and
Hmm?
tomorrow
Maple. It's a
is
maple
yellow.
tree. It's what? It's
Tomorrow is
yellow.
yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wear
I
that
can live
shirt.
with.
That's a good shirt you got on.
Yeah, because whatever that color is, that's pretty bad. For those that are coming in, thank you for showing up. We're just kind of waiting a little bit and slightly goofing around just to make sure you guys are
Slightly.
all awake. I just want to make sure you guys are all there and awake as
Are
we
you
go.
on YouTube and Facebook right now?
No, I have to put that in there. So our YouTube channel, I just noticed it's all on Facebook mostly. So I got my stream and then
Okay.
Chiropractic one. So we just got to start adding that as a stream.
Okay.
So I got it on our My Peak one. I noticed that. So we're live on the My Peak YouTube
Oh, okay,
one.
that's what I was wondering.
Right, exactly. Well,
Hi, Josh
hello,
Gunyon.
Josh. Hello, sir. Well, thank you for tapping in. We're kind of getting back into the flow of it. We kind of missed a week or a month in there. And we have a great lineup for us as well. So tonight is pretty exciting because it's about getting those kids healthy and back to school. Because I'm going to throw you some stats that are kind of crazy. So I'm going to start with. So what we're going to do is do a little approach of chiropractic's all about three things typically. Well, your body, what we call is it needs no help, it just no interference, right? So three of the things that interfere in our daily lives are what we call thoughts, toxins, and trauma. Okay. So what we want to talk about is those different things. And so as we go through, you'll hear us kind of switch between those three processes. So when we look at thoughts, toxins, and traumas, I'll give you several examples of just all of us in our daily life. So stress at work, Matt makes you mad at work, or I mean, I'm sorry, the regular boss makes you mad.
Gee, that guy's a jerk.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So something happens where there's stress, right? So that is what we'd call a thought. That thought is toxic to your body, right? It causes interference to this full expression of who you are. So a lot of times those kind of things in your life will be, yeah, Terror Bear's on. Terror Bear's on.
Teresa.
That was awesome.
Teresa.
That's awesome. So anyway, so that would be a good stressor that could affect your body. Like when you feel angry or something, your body posture changes everything, right? So that's one. That was thought.
I like saying this phrase to people too. It says stress has to come out in some way.
Mhm.
And we can talk about chemicals and blah blah blahs and all this, but it just comes out. And I always say attacks the weak link. And for a lot of people, it's either neck, shoulders, or it's their low back. Like my wife is neck, shoulders, and I'm low back. Stress comes out in my low back, and stress comes out in her neck, shoulders.
And I always call it, and some of my patients have heard this before, but I say we have this big circuit breaker board in our basement, right? So that's all it is a giant circuit breaker, your spine, right? And then if you overload one of those circuits, whether it's with a toaster, a light, something else, right? Hair dryer or something, those are all different things. but they can still overload the circuit. This is the same kind of concept where you get really stressed out at work, you're going to cause yourself a headache, right? Or, something like that. So that's one. Then the toxins could be foods that aren't very good for you. And we'll talk about that one as well for our kids, especially. So, and all the, and then of course, the ones that everybody thinks about, you lifted something that overloads the circuit, or you fall, or you do those kind of things. And then Dr. Matt, good things that we'll talk about in the what I like to call trauma aspect that you don't think about most of the time. So that will be really good as we go forward. So what I want to do is, so it's thoughts, toxins, trauma. That's what we're going to go through with kids. So because of the season, it's just about to turn. I want my nutrition stuff will be pretty simple because we need to start doing it. Like with our kids, it's super important. The amount of absentee based on head colds, various types of things that get out in the environment, there is something that you can do very simply in your life, in your kid's life, to really start abating that. And so I talk about it a lot at the office just at this time of year. And I always say, why? Why this time of year? Well, one, everybody thinks, oh, because it got cold. That could be true. There could be a furnace that turns on that's dirty or something like that. So at your school, they're not going to clean your furnace, that kind of thing. So you're going to have junk flying in the air. The kids are back together, right? So then you have all that kind of situation as well. But one of the things that I tell all my people is there's several things going into this season that we'll talk about. What do we start each kid with in their morning routine? What is their food typically? So let's name some of those. So we got cereal,
pancakes, Pop-Tarts,
waffles,
Pop-Tarts. Okay, they all have one common denominator that's not the greatest.
sugar.
That is sugar. And it's not good sugar, right? Because that sugar is different. Like you have natural sugars that can occur. But because we start our day with a bunch of fake sugar, we cause something to happen in our body. And that thing would be when you start adding fake things to your body, what do you think? If I have a splinter of all my 3D printed stuff, so that's happened before. Oh, so you got like a 3D printer piece of plastic like cut in you. That isn't it's a foreign invader, right? So what happens to something that your body doesn't understand? It will attack it with the nervous system, right? So a fake sugar will do the exact same thing. So what happens is this fake sugar comes in, and once it's in there, your body believes it's a foreign invader. Okay. So one of the things that I was taught in an early age in chiropractic, Dr. Geimer, I have to give it to him. I used to start my day with a donut and a latte from the thing. And then I'd start working on people. And then I'd be like, Gary, why every time I work on people, I get sick as they do? He's like, quit doing sugar, dummy, before work. Like, why would you do sugar before you start working on all these people? They can come in sick, all that stuff. I'm like, that makes total sense, because the sugar is in you. Your immune system is occupied trying to get rid of the sugar, and then you get exposed to everything else, right? So one of the biggest things and hardest things, because I'm not saying this is going to be easy by any sense of imagination. I have children. Okay. I have 2 daughters. To try to change what they eat at a certain time might be a little difficult, but it's something we can do, because my kids really don't miss a lot of school, because we don't start our day with sugary stuff, right? We've got them in the habit of like proteins, like eggs and like avocado and, several different things. You can go on a list. Natural sugars would be the same thing. So
like fruit.
When we start, fruits are fine. It's this fake sugar that we put in, and then we go ask them to sit with 30 of their classmates that are doing the exact same thing. That's the crazy part, right? So they're all doing the same thing. Their immune systems are not at their full capacity when they get together. And what happens? We start getting these sicknesses. And I have proof of this because you go, the number one flu time in the entire country is what day? Matt and Amy, what do you think?
After Halloween.
Right after Halloween. That is correct. Why?
Because they loading up with the sugars.
Yeah, so they go out, they get some candy, they eat it all before they go to bed a little bit. You're right. Mom and dad grab some out of their thing before they can't look at it, right? So then we go in and we go to work and we go into school and we got all kinds of fake sugar going on. And that fake sugar starts building up. Your immune system is going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I got to get all these. I always think of the Osmosis Jones movie.
Yep.
So the immune, if you ever want to see a good movie, Osmosis Jones, it explains a lot of things, but it's this little cartoon and the immune system was the police, I believe, right?
Yeah.
The police or the fire. Yeah, something. So they're public safety, right? So the immune system would fly in there. Well, you only have so much. So then, it's occupied over here and you're getting robbed and getting the flu over here, right? So that's a big one. The other one that I want to stress with parents is, and it's something you can kind of do with your doctor as well. When you go in for that well check for your child, get their vitamin D level checked. That would be a really good idea. Mm-hmm. Vitamin D can be in a super. I alluded to your immune system's alarm system, right? So if your vitamin D levels at normal, that means your alarm system for your house is perfect, right? So it's set if the wind blows or if a cat moves, the alarm system goes off and the police show up, right? But if it's really low, that means the alarm system set it like low. And so the robber can come in, rob your stuff, get out, shut the door, and then the alarm system goes off. So a lot of times that vitamin D is a very critical aspect to this, right? So finding a small supplement, finding out what's recommended dose for a kid. They don't need a ton, but just talk to your doctor about that, but find out what their level is. Are they a chronic vitamin D person? Matt, go ahead.
So, and when it comes to vitamin D, they have the clinical range, which your MD will say, oh, we want you to be above 20. But then when we talk about all the research that says vitamin D and immune function and immune health, they're actually, all those papers are saying 40 to 50. So right. 20 ain't good enough. So when you see it just sneak above 20, your MD says that's good. No offense, that doesn't match the research. Correct. That number hasn't been adapted yet on the basic blood work. So you really want to be between 40 and 50 or even higher to have the immune function side of vitamin D.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that much to actually get that number up there. It really doesn't. There's great supplementation. Just make sure you're taking a good one, right?
But vitamin D is very affordable though too. So there's a lot of expensive supplements in this world. And vitamin D, bang for your buck, there probably isn't anything better because it's just the cost is so low and the value is so high.
Right. And I would recommend that for parents too. Like, why not start doing it in the flu season, right? So that's the biggest thing. So my advice tonight will be no sugar before you try to figure out a way to have a plan of no sugar before you go into work, like go into school, right? If you can do that, life is a lot better. You will notice your kid drastically changing how many times they have to miss school for feeling down or, those kind of things. And then the last two are C and zinc, which are a lot of people are, doing those kind of things. So there's a lot that you could do in the nutrition realm. A lot of times though, that's where I'd like to stay. Like if we could focus on that one, like improve a little bit, like no sugar, right? No sugar, very big process, but if we can get it down, we're going to be really, really good. So that's all I got right now for the nutrition part. Sadie! Well, hello.
Sadie, there's my baby.
Yeah, she's looking at you, Kitty.
That's my baby.
Get him behind his head.
Yeah.
She's probably going to crawl over my shoulder and go right back to my lap where she just was. She's silly like that. She just literally did a circle.
All right, Matt, you have some words of wisdom?
Well, I actually have words of wisdom from Bobby Boucher's mother, written on my screen there. You see my screen name?
Man,
Chromebooks are the devil.
Oh my gosh.
Chromebooks are the devil.
I need to figure out how to put skits in this thing.
I don't know.
I should have pulled Bobby Boucher.
So anybody that is got a kid in school has one of these dumb things. And why do I hate these? One, because Google's trying to control the world, and I don't like that. But number two is look how tiny this thing is, which I don't know what's on the screen right now. Hopefully it's appropriate. It's Joshua's.
That would have been awesome.
But these little things, what happens, and I'm not in the best chair for this right now, but what happens is the screen's tiny, the keyboard's tiny, and we get in this hunched position to engage it. And the body literally reshapes to that position. That's why I hate these things, because they use them all day in school, and then they have to come home and write papers and do econ or whatever they got to do. I don't know what they got to do. I don't pay attention. But they got to do all that stuff. And so it puts them into that posture. And a body will reshape under stress. And what that means is things called Davis's law and Wolff's law. Davis's law says a muscle, tendon, ligament will reshape under stress. And Wolff's law says a bone will reshape. I put them in that order for a reason, because when we keep doing this, our body will actually become that, like a hunchback position. And the problem is Davis's law kicks in first. And all the stuff on the front gets really contracted and tight, and all the stuff on the back gets stretched out and weak. And so if we even try to change our posture, it hurts because the tight rubber bands on front are pulling us back forward. And we see all these beautiful 17, 18, 19-year-old kiddos who should be tall and lanky, and they're hunched over. And these stupid things are not helping the situation whatsoever. But what happens is then over time, because they're getting stuck in this position, that's when we get that Wolff's law, because the pressure on the bone, instead of being a square bone, it keeps putting a little more pressure, a little more pressure, a little more pressure. And then these kids are literally deformed, and there is no hope of changing their posture at that point. Right. And so if we keep putting these kids in this position, their body is literally being reshaped, and they're not going to magically straighten up when they're 30. Because, oh, by the way, every time they look at this dumb thing, they're doing this as well, too. And so it's just another layer of that posture, and that's that body getting reshaped over time. And we just need to be aware of that. So if you understand that, because, oh, by the way, my kid's got one, and so does everybody else's kid on here as well, too. So what do we do? There's a couple different things. I'm going to give you some practical tips. Amy's going to give you some active tips on how to actually start to correct the problem. So the practical tips is what we actually do is when Joshua has to work on this, we have him put books stacked underneath it. And that raises it up so the screen becomes kind of like a monitor, like the computer that we all grew up with kind of thing. So this becomes the monitor. And then for $5 at Five Below, you can buy a wireless keyboard that will have a little thingy majigger, whatever they call that, HDMI, Bluetooth. I don't know what they call that thing. I'm not a tech guy. But they put that in there, and they have a wireless keyboard. So now you can bring the keyboard down to a much more reasonable place, the monitor up so you can see it. And they have wireless mouses that do the same exact thing. And we're talking $5 for that. So for $10 and a couple books, you can actually turn this into a much better posture situation at home. You can't really do it at school. So it is what it is at school. But that's how we can change that at home to help take them out of that shaped posture. But if they start getting stuck there, what can we do, Amy, when we get them stuck in that position?
Massage helps sometimes. Well, that just helps to loosen the muscles. It's not going to correct posture, but I find that pecs are usually tight and shortened from everybody being hunched forward. So there's doorway stretch. Google, YouTube, probably YouTube, look up doorway stretch. And that will stretch out your pec muscles and your shoulder and bring everything back. Doing some kind of I think it's a back extension, but if you look up Superman on the floor and strengthening like your back muscles, your lats, that will help bring everything back. The I want to live long stretch. I show that to my clients all day, every day, because I should be doing it too, honestly, more than I do, because I'm also hunched over all day. Not in front of a Chromebook, but I'm still hunched over all day. And then another one of my favorite ones for like your neck muscles is just turning your head from side to side. But then also when you turn your head, point your nose to your armpit. I call it smell your armpit stretch, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to smell your armpit, but that's a good one for your neck muscles. So going through all of those, like in the morning when I'm waiting for my coffee, I do some of these stretches just standing there. Like it's quick and you have to build the habit to do it, but you need to do it, kids, especially morning and night when they get up before they, go to bed, get in the routine of doing that, because the electronics are not going away anytime soon. So the more they do it, the better they're going to feel and the less problems they're going to have as they grow up.
Yeah. The You Want to Live Long stretch, I was trying to figure out how I could put the link in there, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do it.
While you guys talk.
But
We'll keep going. I'll look it up.
So, but if you type into YouTube, My Health, MYE, because we're Myers Chiropractic, MYE Health Minute.
Oh yeah,
it's actually on the it's YouTube. It's under My Health. So it's MYE Health, Health Minute. Right. You Want to Live Long into YouTube, and you're gonna see my beautiful face wearing a blue shirt, staring at you. I don't know if I can share screen, Jeremy.
I don't know. That's my problem.
Oh! I think I just did.
Oh,
did that share?
Yeah? Let me see.
So you can look and see the name.
Yeah, you got
there. It says My Health Minute, and You Want to Live Long. You type that into YouTube, and you'll see this video. Now, of course, Jeremy, I have no clue how to unshare. But look at that good name of who shared it.
I can control it there. But this is a really, really good one. Matt is holding it a little longer just because he's showing it. But if you get on here, it's basically, think of the YMCA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the YMCA, and it's basically You Want to Live Longer. We got this from Dr. Chestnut of Canada. He was an awesome speaker, and my goodness, we all do this like every day. Really.
I do it every morning. I link it to my breakfast, actually.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My breakfast that doesn't include sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Once you figure that out, it's going to be good. But yeah, so that is the video. So that he's at what are we at right there? We want to live longer. Yep. So at the very end. Yeah. So stop it right there, Matt. Can you do that?
Hang
on. Okay. One of the things, if you notice, go back where you're kind of over. It's just you standing, basically. Where it's just you. Yeah. Okay.
That one?
So one of the things you can watch as a parent, like as you're watching for this
I see what you're
condition,
saying.
I want you to. So this is a really, really, really good stretch to teach. Like, so as a kid gets information, or like as a kid, as we teach this kind of stuff, if you do it at a young age, a lot of times they're going to start doing it just naturally, right? So stuff that we didn't do because we didn't get infiltrated with this type of like technology this much, right? So if these kids learn what it feels like to be in the right position, now Matt's a little far back here, right? So he's kind of arched in his back. But if you,
If you look at my face too, I look constipated too. I think I'm just trying
yeah,
to emphasize, feel the stretch. So
it looks like
just to let you
he's
know,
he's fighting hurricane force winds.
I think I need more fiber in my diet too. So maybe I'm cutting things out too much.
It's like there's this giant fan blowing in his face.
That's it.
Or the Titanic,
Hurricane
picture.
Ionia or whatever is going on right now. I don't know what the name is right now.
So yeah. So as you go, if you can see where his shoulder is compared to his hip joint, right? That's something that you as a parent can watch. Like, so as your kid walks by you in the hallway,
boom,
your
boom.
shoulder should be over the top of your, just naturally sitting over the top of your hip joints. That should show you a lot. And then your ears should be over your shoulders, basically, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's something to watch for as you're learning these different things. So, do you want me to stop doing it? Stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Go. I just to see if there's anything else like what you were talking about. There's another good image in there. But yeah, just that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That was cool. We shared something. Oh, that opens the door. I should have had a screen ready to go at that point. All right, but just remember what's it called? My Health Minute. My Health Minutes are fantastic little videos that we've posted a few years ago actually, and they come back to be really good. There's some trigger point stuff in there, like really good stuff.
We talked about forward head posture in there in one of the videos too. I didn't search it out quick, but we got a good one you were just talking about. Yeah. Now, Jeremy, did you see that we're an international show tonight?
I know. Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Canada.
Canada in the house. That's right.
Hey, so what are Jeremy and Matt, what are your favorite go-to breakfasts like that you would recommend for your kids?
Okay, good question. So for me, it's egg avocado because it's very easy to slice of cheese, egg avocado, maybe some, like bagel of some sort, right? A lot of places you can go and do that, right? So if your kids are up to that level, like my kids are older, so they like cooking for themselves, and if you teach them this early though, they understand that as well. So like a lot of them we'll have cereal here, that's not a problem, but you don't see them eat it often, right? They'd rather have something more fulfilling, especially, and you got to understand in our nutritional world, the school it's not their fault. They're just not set up to eat correctly throughout a day. So one of the things that's happening is like back in our days, they had like an hour for lunch. These kids get like 20 minutes. Like it's ridiculous. So these kids are sprinting to do all this. Well, then there's half of them are snacking. And then we ask them to do a 3-hour practice after. So they're from, their brain is active that entire time listening, doing the school thing. And then we go directly into a sport. And so, and they, you can't bring anything into the classroom and, those kind of things. So that leads to you trying to get them snacks, cheeses, proteins, stuff that you can, surprisingly, my daughter's like jerky, like that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Matt, what's Josh eating for breakfast?
So Josh has a mother that spoils him rotten, to be honest. And she likes him more than she likes me, just to be honest too. I'm just gonna state facts now. I don't get breakfasts. No, but so he gets eggs of scrambled and fried variety. He gets bacon and sausage. We do slow oats, so the overnight oats, because they actually digest slower throughout the day, and we sweeten them with honey and the kid loves berries. And, you know, we even buy, he literally will open the bag of frozen berries that you get from, you know, Meyer, Aldi's or whatever. And he just eats frozen berries. Like,
Wow.
and then bananas tossed in there as well, too. Like I said, occasionally, you know, he'll have a cereal. But, you know, Josh can handle gluten, so we don't do a whole lot of cereal in
Yeah.
our house for that reason. So he does do a lot of different eggs. Aldi's has a really nice a gluten-free English muffin. So he'll get egg McMuffin like type thing from McDonald's. His mom will make him because she loves him once again,
Mm-hmm.
and spoils him rotten. But yeah, but it's pretty meat heavy.
Yep.
Oatmeal, occasionally a cereal, but not that often.
Yeah.
And then fruit and banana.
Yep.
Those would be his rotation that he flips through.
Yep. That's good. I in the past for Josie, she's super picky eater, would put protein powder in her pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both were winning at that point. And then she went through a phase where she would eat scrambled eggs with a little bit of cheese every morning. So that was great. Now her breakfast, she would kill me if she was on any kind of social media, but she's really not. She usually eats like peanut butter and jelly while she's making a peanut butter and jelly for her lunch in the morning, which I'm okay with that. It's a good combo. Sadie eats.
You can become a chiropractor eating that for breakfast. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Sadie is little. She's only 3.5, and she'll eat string cheese, banana, toast, sometimes peanut butter and jelly, scrambled eggs. But then she really didn't want scrambled eggs. She wanted a fried eggy, and so sometimes she gets both. And you know, stuff like that. But also, if you don't buy that stuff for your kids, if you don't buy Pop-Tarts and donuts and sugary cereals and things, then guess what? They can't eat it, and they're going to eat something else, you know, that you have. Most kids don't like to cook, but like in the past for Tucker, I would make scrambled eggs, or like breakfast burritos with, you know, scrambled eggs and sausage, cheese, or whatever, and freeze them. They freeze well. You can freeze egg McMuffin sandwiches, you know, whatever, so they can just take them out. Or teach your kids how to get up a little earlier and cook in the morning for themselves if they're old enough. But there's a lot of things that you can do ahead of time to prep for that, but just don't buy it for them, and then they're not going to eat it, and they'll be forced to eat some of the other healthier options that you might have.
Right. And the other thing on the nutrition side, understand that the like berries, the sugars of that are different than the fake sugar I was talking about. So with pure sugar of, let's say, of berries, right? That is something that's not a foreign invader to your body, right? So that one, your body understands as energy. And so it doesn't have an immune system reaction like that. So a lot of those good things, if you stick with some natural sugars, it's going to make it a lot easier on you to make the transition from the fake sugars, right? So I have this analogy that I was taught a long time ago. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper here. Maybe. Man. All right. Ooh, sticky note. Okay, this will work. So this is a piece of sugar. Okay. So in a sugar molecule, you have like out of a blueberry, banana, whatever. So when it's a natural sugar, the body comes in, uses it up as energy, gets rid of it, right? That's cool, right? Now with fake sugar, they bring in a sugar molecule, but it needs a car to bring it, right? So it's like it has to bring this truck. And then when the truck dumps the sugar off, you still have this piece. This piece is the foreign invader. And that's the problem. Like, so the energy of the sugar gets used, but now you have a chemical that's telling your immune system, oh my gosh. And so that's why it's okay. Honey, berries, all that cool stuff. That's no issue at all. Like as you go forward, right? So as long as you're getting that kind of thing going, your kids will transition. There is no doubt. They like that stuff better. But the option of easy and some of that stuff, I mean, you got food scientists that like make up what that stuff tastes like. Like they are literally trying to get your kid and us like to eat that, right? And that
Well,
be the number one thing they grab.
Chromebooks are the devil, but so are food scientists because their whole job is to make you addicted to food. And
Yeah,
it's not because it's good for you, it's because they just want you to buy more. It has
right.
nothing to do with
Unfortunately,
nutrition.
yeah, and unfortunately, they're really, really good at it. Like they
Yeah.
could, yeah. I mean, try a Pop Tart sometime. Dear Lord. Now, when you have the fake sugar thing, right? You go down. So that's something. Okay, so now you're not around all these kids, right? So now you're at home. Okay, you can do that. The fake sugar thing. You're at home, right? There's not 40 other kids you're interacting with. So if you want to do that, or if your kid's into it, then you go just wait till after school. You can do all that stuff after you've been with the 30, 40 plus kids that are around you all day. And so that will help you not get sick a lot of times. You're going to notice your kid just in the stuff we've talked about today. And well, we'll go into that in a sec. But so you do that, you have a healthier kid, just like that, right? No sugar before everything. You start changing their posture. That one is huge, and people don't realize it in the energy world, right? So there is so much to that posture Matt was talking about. When did you ever know when you noticed in your families who had the hunchback? Who did that?
Well,
Grandma.
it was
Grandma.
grandma, but now
Grandma,
it's
because she
everything.
was over the stove cooking, right? Oh, grandma's picking up everything, right? Grandma's the one looking down at the ground, constantly doing those things. And what happens to your heart and your lungs if I keep doing that?
Compressed.
Right. So eventually your heart gets a problem, your lungs get a problem. We actually went to a chiropractic seminar this weekend. We heard a fantastic speaker. Um, One of the things that he noticed, he was adjusting people, not kind of paying attention to his own lifestyle, right? He starts getting this hunchback over the top because he's over the top of a patient, and he started getting an enlarged heart. He didn't know where it was coming from. Well, his body was trying to fight off this posture. So, not that we're saying this posture is completely like heart related, but definitely could be, right? Let's say your heart needs that space, it needs that open, right? So, we have to do all those kind of things to get it to kind of roll in that direction, I think. And if we start them at a young age, a lot of times they're going to learn what good posture feels like. And so it'll irritate them when they're not in the good posture, right? So that's one thing. If we learn this, and then this is their normal posture from here on out, how do you fix that naturally, right? If they're already going, oh, I got to get out of that, that is where we really want our kids to be, because a lot of these things are going to be attacked, uh, going against in the technology world, are going to not be the greatest for their health. Let's just be straight up. So they're going to have to, and it's not going away, like Amy said. So how do we combat it, really? So like, and we have to start having like routines every day, and those are some things that we could definitely do, and I love it.
Well, and that's good. I like the word routine because, as we talk about, with the Optavia coaching is, healthier habits, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying is creating healthier habits. But you got to have an awareness that,
Yep.
hey, my posture's getting beat up. It affects my immune function. What I'm putting in my body weakens the immune response. And then, oh, by the way, these supplements over here can strengthen the immune response. And that's just, you put these pieces of the puzzle, every single one individually is really smart, but you put all three of those together, you're likely going to have a healthier kid, healthier household.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Before I don't want to end it yet because I forgot one section. We've done toxins, right? And we've done trauma. We haven't done thoughts yet. And I thought about that as we were getting ready for this. And I'm going to throw
You
this
thought
one
about
out
thoughts?
there. Yeah, thoughts. I was thinking about thoughts. That's interesting. Okay. So as we go, one of the things that happens is, like, think of you in that. Remember, all of us were in the classroom, right? So we're sitting there and we're getting information thrown at us that we have to absorb and then kind of regurgitate back, which is fine, right? That's how you learn. And as you go after school, what happens there? And so that's the interesting thing. Some kids have some kind of physical activity they go to, and then they're out interacting that way, right? So a lot of kids are not doing that, right? So once I get energy put into me, right? So I'm getting pushed on. I want to try to get nature's a balance, right? So you have to have, like we talk about it all the time. Chiropractors talk constantly all day. So when we're not doing stuff, a lot of times I'll do things that I don't have to talk, right? So to make me really feel good, like become balanced, I'll create something, right? Or, take that time to do those kind of things. So one of my favorite parts is like with a kid, they've been talked at all day, right? So I heard this, I don't know where, but it was hilarious. So, and then you go to ask your kid how their day was, right? And they can almost read right through you. They think you don't really want to know, or they say, "Oh, fine," right? So one of the things that I heard that I love this is just ask creative questions, right? So you say, one time I did this to Allie like years ago. She was like, I go, how'd your day go? Good, right? They do that answer. Good. So instead I reframed it and I said, if aliens came tomorrow and had to choose two children to take up from your classroom, who would you have chosen today? And she's like, oh, well, it would have been Tucker and Tom. Oh my gosh, they were crazy all day. And all they did was talk all the time. I was like, that's a little different answer than how was class today? Good, right? So if you get them interacting where they actually talk about school a little bit, that's super good. They can actually balance. Let's say that's all you do is like interact after school. See, don't let them stop at good, right? But don't force them, right? Find a different way, a different avenue. That was the one that stuck in my head. I can't think of any other questions, but you go, like say something crazy. Like, so, what happened at school today? Or, was like one of Allie's elementary teachers wear, the glasses with the mustache, and she was in elementary school. They thought it was the funniest thing ever. He'd go out of classes. He was Mr. Deshaw. Then all of a sudden he came back as Sam, Mr. Deshaw's brother. And then he didn't know how to be a gym teacher. He was like, I'm supposed to cover for my brother. And all the kids are just dying laughing. I just remember her talking about this. He kept going back in the closet, and then Sam would come back, and then Sam didn't know how to shoot a basketball. It was all over the place, right? So the kids had to teach Sam, like, hey, we were doing basketball lessons, right? So just getting them to talk, like doing that kind of thing. Doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be something fun, right? Or if they're not into even the talking, do something creative, or like do something that allows them to do an output, right? Because they've been getting input the entire time. Like sports is really nice because you're doing an output right there. But sometimes
robotics is a good idea too.
Robotics,
especially middle school at Harper Creek.
Yes, especially when you have crazy coaches that can't stop thinking about it. I know. It's like that is something. If your kid is not in robotics, dear Lord, think about it, because they get this
that will boost their immune system.
Oh my goodness, it's like crazy. I know. It's like, it's just really, really cool to see those kids using their brain the other way, right? Yeah. So they're outputting, and so they get input all day. We got to expect that there has to be an output, right? And that's,
I really like your input output example. That's a really good wording. I think that connects with a lot of people. It's a constant stream of input, and if you just keep getting bombarded, the brain's getting heavy and bogged down, and it needs to release. And so I like what you're saying with that.
Yeah. Big part for me was always in college. Like, you got the same input, right? And then you had to find a way at that point. Let's say at chiropractic school, you weren't being able to interact with a lot of, you weren't doing a sport, let's say, but how do you output that. So we would use study groups and going to play foosball and all this other stuff. So
Front
it
Street
was
Brewery, whatever,
talking about
whatever.
there. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That was delicious. That's right. All right, you guys got anything to end on? We did good.
I think we covered a good broad stroke. Well, I guess one thing I did want to say as we were talking, I don't have the bottle. It's over on the other side of the house. We've been giving Josh the elderberry immune gummies that the office sells that are really, really affordable. And he's just healthier through the winter when we give him those things. And they're really yummy. They're cute little gummies. And they're really easy to consume. And it's just another positive immune supplement. It's done very, very well. So I would recommend checking those out in the office if you haven't already. So.
Right. Because we have quite a few different like immune system strengthening stuff. And elderberry one is awesome because they come.
Well, we have a kids multi with Aniva, which is fantastic too. Not that we're trying to, we're not supplement pushers, but we're, if we give them to our own kids, we're going to recommend it to other people too.
Exactly. And so on that note too, in probably 2 weeks, I want to make sure everybody knows that Amy and I on Sunday night, we're going to do basically a Zoom call that'll be recorded. So you don't have to be there necessarily. But we're going to start doing an entire wellness journey, right? And so we're going to try to keep that pretty consistent, especially through the winter months where we're talking about different aspects of this thoughts, toxins, trauma. And we got a lot of cool things like lined up for that. So that'll be like Sunday nights. Probably doing a Zoom aspect. So if you're on this Facebook one and if you want your email put on there, let us know. Let us know you can message us your email. However you want to do that, stop by the office and do it. I'm sure it'll be small at first, but I think over time, we're going to be teaching a lot of things that health related. It could change a lot of things for you. So I'm pretty excited about where we're going with all this stuff. And we shared a screen tonight, which is so cool. Like technology ridden us.
We're moving up in the world.
That's right. Well, all right, everybody. It was good talking. And look out for us next time. I can't remember what we're talking about next time. You remember? I don't remember. We'll figure it out as we go. I know it's a good topic, though. All right. Sadie, we're taking off, Sadie.
Say goodbye.
See you later, baby. Have a good day. Smile, though. Oh, there's a cat. That got the smile.
You don't want to wave. He's like, I'm a cat. I don't wave.
Have a good night, guys. Take it easy. See ya. Bye.